Happy New Year, everybody. All right. So today's message is not going to be for everybody. So one of my goals, one of my visions, one of my callings, so to speak, is I'm a truth teller. And so oftentimes that truth is hard to hear. It's not fluff. But my purpose, my goal, my point of even embracing being a truth teller is to provide healing and transformation. Not just healing and transformation in my own life, but to be able to speak that life and truth into others around me so that they can also be healed and transformed as well if they embrace it. So today's message is a little bit more on the rough side, and it's not for everyone. So I'm just going to put that out there now. Once again, this message is not for everyone. This message is going to be for a very select few. So here's what it is. That person that you loved, that romantic relationship, or that friendship, whatever the scenario of it, the context of that relationship, that it was deep, that it was full of love, that it has been in existence for over 10 years, maybe even past 15 years, this relationship that you've had with this person. It suddenly ended, and you couldn't understand why. They ended that relationship on their part, and they became mean and cold and distant and cruel. In that, and it was almost as if they had no love for you, for whatever reason, and it came out of nowhere because they used to be filled with so much love. So how of a sudden could they not love you, and they act like they don't love you at all? Here's the message. God has a plan for you, and I know that sounds very cliche, but the plan that God specifically has for you, the power that God has given you or is about to give you, that person would not be able to handle it. That person would not be able to handle the things that God is about to have you do. And so they are a stumbling block in your life. So their departure from your life was divine. God allowed it so that you can walk into the calling that God has for you, so that you can embrace the calling and the power that God has for you. So why did that person become cruel and cold and distant out of nowhere? Because God hardened their heart, just like he did with Pharaoh. Because Pharaoh loved Moses and they were brothers. And Pharaoh would have never let Moses go because of the love that Pharaoh had for him. So God hardened Pharaoh's heart so that Pharaoh would release Moses. One point. But then the other point was that so that Moses and Moses's people could see the power of God through the hardened heart of Pharaoh. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? That person's heart was hardened because they would have never let you go on their own. So their heart was hardened so that you can be able to walk into the promised land, so that you can be obedient to the calling that God has placed over your life. So do not mourn anymore, but instead rejoice. Rejoice in what is to come. Rejoice in obedience. And thank God for removing the obstacles that were stopping you from being who you're supposed to be.